What we talk about Republicans a lot with this thing is that all the Republicans have left. So we mock conservative ideology all the time because it doesn't make any sense, and it's essentially just the screeds of robber barons and CEOs and executives just trying to drain as much money out of regular people as they can. And so for a long time now they realize that, well, we can't make that our primary message. We have to go on culture war stuff. So it used to be easy for them. It used to be really easy. They'd be like, oh, black folk, that's who we're going after. Like we need to target them. They're the ones who are stealing your jobs. They're the ones who are ruining your community. And then they shifted to women. Okay, well, women they're getting a little mouthy and they're trying to, take the place of men. And, misandry is a really big thing you have to worry about. Then they went to, the queer community. They've gone to Muslims. They've gone to Hispanic immigrants. They've gone to trans people now. And they're kind of running out of people to demonize because, I mean, it just doesn't hit quite as. That's why they're getting so much more acerbic with this message here, where they used to be able to say stuff like, well, we love the black community. It's just a shame that their fathers don't take care of the kids. I mean, if they solve that problem, be okay. And now you have, Nick Fuentes out there. And now you have just straight up Nazis and fascists who are just openly proclaiming that they're racist. So it just doesn't hit as hard anymore. And when that's the only tool you have in your tool belt, you're going to use it and just make yourself look really bad. Because I promise you, if we were just listening to like two MAGA conservatives talking amongst themselves and they didn't know they were being observed or anything, they would probably say something along the lines of, yeah, we really need to go after this Hunter Biden guy. We really need to embarrass him more. And we really need to clown on Joe Biden for being soft against this guy. And to them, like in their minds, like, oh yeah, this works. This is what's going to get the people on our side. And it ain't. I'm sorry, it ain't. Like nobody is going to go out and vote for Trump because of this Hunter Biden stuff. And they seem convinced of it. And I'm not exactly sure. I really don't get it because they're not stupid. They have to realize that, like you said, John, like, unfortunately, people vote on vibes way too often. And someone who's like not political and they don't understand this stuff at all, they see how Trump treats everyone and they see how his family included. And then they see how Biden talks about his son in a difficult spot. That's gonna move some hearts. It is. I mean, maybe you shouldn't base your vote on president on that. I'm not saying that, but it definitely does say something about your character that is going to endear to a lot of people.
It will, and that's what the only thing Biden has is being a better person than Trump, and the only thing Trump has is not being Biden. And like it's they're playing to their base. They're preaching to the choir, and the problem is the base hasn't grown. Like the MAGA base for Donald Trump has been from 2016 to 2024 exactly the same. And yes, it is large enough that it can control Republican primaries. Absolutely control them. I think I read when we were talking about when I was reading about the Ohio thing that he's undefeated or nearly undefeated so far in his primary endorsements. Now, that's not necessarily surprising. Oftentimes, a president or like the head of the former president, whatever, like they tend to be very effective as endorsements for primaries at different states. But he's batting almost 1,000, and it shows the power that he has among Republicans in the primaries. But as you see, even there, like he's beating Nikki Haley by 20 points, which is not that much for a presumptive nominee. So like it's beginning to wear. It's beginning to wear on the rest of the party that isn't the MAGA base, and they have failed to grow the base, but they can only preach to the base because that's all Trump cares about. So everyone in the Republican GOP stratosphere has to placate to Trump, or else they will lose their primaries. But it causes them to lose in the general because that's not really what the majority of America wants. So yeah, it puts the GOP in a very tough spot. They have to give him control of all of the finances. Like it's really, and we've talked about this a million times. Everything Trump has done has been very destructive for the GOP. If he doesn't win in 2024 in November, it's probably a good thing that he happened in the grand scheme of things. But
yeah, oddly enough, it's true. We've joked about it before that back when Trump ran the first time, people like Republicans would say, "Oh, this guy's just a Democratic psyop to destroy the Republican Party," and it's turning out to be the case. Maybe not
I thought
psyop.
He was, TJ, when he started running it, like in 2015. I was like, "Fuck, is he secretly a Democrat? Like, is he doing this intentionally?" And it does suck that he got those justices on the Supreme Court, which is going to hurt us for a long time. But it probably is going to be better than not. As long as he doesn't win this election, it's probably going to be better that he happened than that he didn't. But I could be wrong.
I agree. I agree.
Ben, get the fuck out of here.
Here comes Ben, I think you'd be happy to hear there are 7 more people just like you watching this right now. So how dare you, sir?
Watching this, tell Ben to shut
we are almost at double digits. So, but the whole thing with Trump and losing it, I wish I could remember who it was, but I saw some Republican talking about this like the day before yesterday, and he was saying that how the Republican Party is a cult now, that and he brought up the same thing you did, that they've lost control of their own primaries, which is the only reason they're still supplicating or debasing themselves towards Donald Trump, because it isn't, like you said, he's got like a nearly perfect record for endorsing people in primaries, that it is nearly impossible to get out of a Republican primary without Trump support. And even if you could get through, the last thing that you want to do as a Republican is piss off Trump supporters, because look, they may not be 50% of the party, but they're probably like 35% easily. I mean, easily.
They're far more likely to show up. Is the other part of that.
Yeah, absolutely. And so it's just some weird shit, because everyone knows that the right thing to do, the right thing as far as you can do as a Republican, is to be Liz Cheney. Right, is to do what she did. Say, okay, listen, I know we're conservatives here, but this guy isn't even a conservative, which is true. He's not. He doesn't have any ideological principles for it. And say the election was obviously not stolen. Like you guys have been at this for 4 years now. If there was any evidence of it, a court would have found it, and an audit would have found it, and there's none there. So let's just stop saying this nonsense. But if you are Liz Cheney, your honesty and nobility is rewarded by losing your job, and none of them want to lose their jobs. So they keep, you keep bowing down to Trump, even though they know it's nonsense. And it puts in a weird situation. So we talked with Nikki Haley, like we were wondering what she would do. Even she came out and endorsed Trump, and she didn't want to do that. Like, damn well she didn't want to do that. But if she wants a career in the future, I think it's a pretty big gamble. I'm not sure where you fell on that, because I think you were saying that she wants to set herself up as the anti-Trump when Trump is done. Mm-hmm. But coming out and endorsing him now seems to put that in jeopardy. But I guess that's the safe bet she played.
That doesn't matter. I don't think that matters in 15 years. Everyone will have endorsed Trump. Like, of course, you're going to endorse the president that is going against Biden. Like, it probably doesn't play well if she doesn't end up endorsing him in the long run. But yeah, no, I think she's played this brilliantly. Her stock is way up. Like, she is going to be a major Republican influence in the next 2 decades here.
So I don't disagree with you. I think that if you're playing your cards, safe, endorsing Trump, like, oh, what's the harm it could do? Because you're right. In years, who's going to remember? Unless you get Barack Obama. And so, like, Hillary Clinton supported the Iraq War, and Obama, a much younger guy, came along who never had to make a statement on it, and he used that as an attack against Clinton. Well, listen, only one of us here supported the Iraq War. So 10 years from now, some 45-year-old Republican will be like, well, you supported Donald Trump, did you not? And I think that, look, that's not likely. I'll admit it. Like, that's kind of when's another Barack Obama coming along where you have another 49-year-old guy running for president or something?
Especially as a Republican. I guess the Republicans are kind of getting more okay with younger, but they tend to like their old guys.
But it's just like, but you're right. Like that would be the safe bet, but it could bite her. But she had to do one or the other. And it was funny because do you remember when Ted Cruz tried doing this when he ran? So when Cruz lost to Trump in the primary, there was a lot of bad blood going on because Donald Trump called Ted Cruz's wife ugly. He put out news stories to the National Enquirer that Ted Cruz's dad had killed JFK or was involved in the JFK assassination. I mean, just like the worst stuff imaginable. So Ted Cruz hated Donald Trump. And so Ted Cruz was speaking at the Republican National Convention, and his speech is coming to an end. And everyone was wondering, is he going to support Trump? Is he going to endorse Trump? And Ted Cruz steps out there and says, okay, and in November, vote your conscience, vote for us. And he was just showered with boos, just a cascade of boos because he wouldn't actually support Trump. And then like a week later, he ended up actually endorsing Trump. It's like, man, you gotta pick a decision here. You can't do half of that shit right there. And Ted Cruz has been one of the most open and loud Trump supporters since then. He's definitely made his bed.
Yeah, that boot is well and truly shined by Ted Cruz.
Oh, yeah.
He's deep-throated that boot all the way through. He was in that picture. He was right there, standing right there in that picture that you showed earlier, where it's just
he was. You're
right there. It is really sad. I would say I feel bad, but it's Ted Cruz. So if you made it to the end of this episode, you probably noticed we didn't have a guest this week. It was just me and TJ, and we had a great time. We're always looking for new guests. So if you have any content creators that you want to see on this show, make sure to tag us in their videos, and we'll reach out to them and see if they can be a guest. And if you want to hear from TJ, I don't know, TJ, say something.
Yeah, no problem, John. Thanks so much for that. If you want to watch the show, we really recommend you do so and leave some comments. Leave some comments that are better than one Ben left here, where he's talking about Islam, saying, I call the religion of a billion people small, which I did not. I was saying in the United States, Islam is a very small religion, and so it's growing. So watch us and pay better attention than Ben. We'll appreciate it. Just giving you a hard time, Ben, but that is what I said. I was talking about the United States. The United States. Yeah, Islam is a small religion. Yeah, Islam is like the second largest religion on earth. I know it's very big, but it's yeah, okay, buddy. I still can't believe this guy's a kid. When his username on TikTok has been the Socialist Jew, that sounds like a 55-year-old man has that name. Like it's odd that I did not expect a high schooler to have that name, but we appreciate you, Ben. We appreciate the good and everybody else watching too. Thank you so much. We'll catch you guys next time. Ooh. Oh.